First, Huawei. Emily Taylor is an Associate Fellow at Chatham House, Chief Executive Officer of Oxford Information Labs, a cyber intelligence firm, and she joins us. Emily, good morning. Just explain the technical point which is being made around the British government's decision to change their tune on Huawei. It's all to do with what chips, and in particular which American chips, Huawei is able to use in its equipment.
Well, I think the argument is a respectable enough technical hook on which to hang a tougher policy. It comes down to the effect of expected US sanctions on the supply of chips to Huawei. I must say the effect of those sanctions is still not 100% clear, but in a worst case scenario, it could drive Huawei into using untried technology, and that would affect the ability of the National Cybersecurity Centre here to give the kind of assurance that it has given on Huawei's kit.
You say it's a respectable enough point to hang this change in tune. Do you think it's the only reason, though? Is there a political thing at work here as well?
I think there are many forces at play. Domestically, there's a growing Tory rebellion who are very unhappy at the idea of Huawei being here at all. The decision, we're expecting a decision today. Some of us will remember that a decision that was made in January that was supposed to put this whole thing to bed, and it was walking a very careful line. It was quite pragmatic and reflected reality and gave concessions to the US and Tory rebels while effectively maintaining the status quo, pinning market share on what it was already about 33%. But the threats from the US continued. Of course, relationships with China have deteriorated, with Hong Kong, concerns over the Uyghur Muslims, and I think the pandemic itself has really affected, the general thinking. The FT are reporting that a recent opinion poll says that 83% of people don't trust China in this country at the moment. So I think the winds of change are blowing for Huawei.
What about the practicalities for telecoms companies? How difficult is it to find other manufacturers of this kind of 5G network equipment? Is it easy just to go to the shop next door and find this kind of kit?
There's not an awful lot of suppliers out there. Huawei is really one of three shows in town, the others being Nokia and Ericsson. The point is not the availability of new kit, but if it's going to be a complete ban at some point, is digging up the old kit, because it's not just Huawei in 5G. 5G sits on 4G, which sits on 3G, which sits on 2G. And if you have to take all of that equipment out of the ground, the mobile operators are saying it will take them, a minimum of 5 years, ideally 7. They're hoping for 10. It will cost billions. It risks, anything shorter risks blackouts for customers. So it's the disruption of digging up equipment and what that will do to the service, and of course how much it will cost and who will pay for it.
Just briefly, Emily, what response should we expect from China?
Well, China have already threatened, made threats or made noises that, that the relationship will suffer. And we're going to be placed at the point where we're exiting the European Union with deteriorating relationships with another trading bloc, China, and also an erratic United States. So a global picture that's concerning.
Thank you very much. Emily Taylor from Chatham House.